Halle Berry is going through an ugly split from her husband.
No
She's
hearts.
also getting no love from her exes, with both her first and her second husbands piling on with spiteful tweets.
David Justice warned her most recent husband, Olivier Martinez, that Berry's Hollywood team would try and trash him in the media. He also said claims he had abused the actress in the past, those are completely false. Another tweet said, quote, "Me, Eric, Gabriel, and Olivier were all her knights in shining armor until it ends. Then we all become the worst guys in history." And then Justice got props from another one of Berry's exes. They all like teamed up.
They just came out of the woodwork.
This is like what girls do. Eric Benet tweeted out, quote, "My man David Justice tweeting
some truth this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's bring in Heidi Hamilton from Dish Nation and the Heidi and Frank Show on 95.5 KLOS.
Hi.
I mean,
Hello.
David Justice, I forgot that he was even married to
I know.
her.
Remember we
forgot
talked about
he
it
was
last
married.
week. You were like,
Right.
how many? I'm like, David Justice. And you were like, oh,
Right.
yeah. Because it's been a long time. It was a
It's
long time ago.
and you're just now coming out and...
Well, he's
mouthing
had
off
some
like this?
bad, because I think it came out in the news, I think you mentioned it there, that there was rumors that he had beat her,
Yeah.
caused ear damage, and he was like, that was never me, and she's never claimed that I did that. And allegedly it was somebody with the initials WS, and they say it's Wesley Snipes.
This is getting better.
That he was an ex too. But really, when you see this story, think about your exes.
Right.
Right.
If they
all got together and like, did Lauren do that?
Yeah.
The worst.
she's going to say her knight in shining armor until
But
things
that's
go
how it
south.
always is. Like in the beginning, you're like, oh my God, they're the best of the best. And then towards the end, you're just like, ugh, what was
Yeah.
I even
Yeah.
thinking?
And it just seemed odd to me, the gender reversal here, because
Right.
usually it's girls that are like, did you know that he was
Did he
seeing
do that
you?
with
And,
you?
oh my God, he did
Yeah.
it with me too. And then we all team up and we put his picture on some website that you can hit.
Yeah.
But these are like all guys that have their own careers. And they
but
have
it was
their
like, it was almost like they were all in war together and they were like, man, we got through it though. We got through it. It's like a brotherhood, you know? But we made it. We made it out.
Halle Berry
But there was no real,
Right.
but there was no real trash talking of like Gabrielle Aubrey, really. I mean,
Well, he's
the
got
guy
a kid
just
with
got
her,
some,
so I think
right.
he's like, I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I have to
risk.
deal with her, guys.
I have to. These guys don't have to see her.
Right.
Gabriel Aubrey's
Right.
like, well, I got to do the drop off and all
Yeah.
that.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and so does
awkward.
Olivier now because they have a
Right.
kid too.
And he doesn't like Olivier doesn't like California. He wanted to go to move back to France.
France.
And then Gabriel
The
Aubrey's like, you
ex-husband wouldn't let her-
can't do
yeah.
that. I've got it. So it's a whole mess.
What's amazing to me
Right.
is David Justice claimed that it was her PR team that came up with all these trashy stories about him that like just, dragged
Right.
him through the press. And I was thinking like that is the greatest revenge ever when you break up with someone. You can have your PR team
I know.
concoct.
Normal people don't
Normal
have
people
that
can't
kind of.
do that.
Your PR team is your friends going.
Yeah,
tell,
we just post stuff on Facebook. It's
You know
not
what
the
I heard?
same.
Right, exactly. You have your friends acting as your PR team because
Totally.
you have no money. Tahir professionals.
Let's ask you about Jennifer Lawrence also. So she's talking about that, the gender pay gap.
Yeah.
This is her
She
big-
says she was inspired
Cause now.
by Katniss.
Katniss Everdeen, yeah. I guess she felt like
That
Well,
gave
when you
that
play-
empowered,
Katniss
that
is a
empowered
badass.
her.
No,
Right.
she's like the Joan of Arc of
right,
our
she's
time.
a badass.
Yes.
And so once you play her and you really get into that role, you're thinking, yeah, Jennifer Lawrence may take a pay cut, but
Right.
Katniss Everdeen's not going to
She
take
just
a
kill everyone.
Exactly. So she said she felt empowered playing that role, and that was what enabled her to stand up and say something, because I think so many people don't.
Plus, she made a lot of money.
But
on
how do
that
you even
film.
know? I don't think no one should even know what you make. Unless
Yeah.
you're like remember the Friends cast, they would all get to a table and go, all right, here's
This is
whatever.
what we're
It's like
making,
favored
just
nations,
Yeah.
like we're all getting a
Well, that's
million.
what Bradley Cooper said he was going to do. I'm just going to put it on the table and tell you how much I'm making so that you can
Right.
negotiate
Bobby,
yourself.
you wanna do that?
Talk
No, thank you.
about
You wanna
all.
do that?
Yeah, see, no good's gonna come of that. It's awkward. It's super awkward. Like I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
I like this story about the legalization of marijuana.
Change the topic.
Let's change the topic.
Anywho.
No, but I do like
Is
this
it time
story.
for a break yet?
Nick Lachey is backing this initiative to legalize marijuana
yeah,
in
Bobby,
Ohio.
because he owns almost 30
owns-
acres of property in
Right.
Akron, Ohio.
He says it's good for the economy.
It's good for him.
His economy.
Who would have thought? But flashback to what
Lachey.
Nick.
I
Okay,
know.
Jessica
98
Simpson, who thought Chicken of the Sea was actually chicken.
That was their-
She's a mogul. She's almost a billionaire.
Yes.
And now Nick Lachey, who I think got like $35 million from her during the breakup. Now he owns this property in Ohio, and if recreational weed passes,
Oh,
there
look,
he
there
is.
he is on Good Day LA.
Yeah. If
So-
recreational weed passes, they're saying that in about 4 years, each piece of property, and there are 10 farms where they're going to be allowed to grow this stuff, and his is one of them, that it will bring in about $1.1 billion each year.
My God.
Billionaire Nick
Yeah.
Lachey.
Yeah, and billionaire Jessica Simpson.
My
Who
goodness.
would have thought?
Well, that's why there's a lot of groups out there who are opposing this that
Musical
are saying
groups?
No. Anti.
Boy bands?
Initiative groups.
Right. Well,
of the
because they're
initiative
saying,
groups,
well,
because
only
they're saying it's
10
going to be a
farms?
monopoly.
Only
Right.
10
They're
farms?
like,
What if I'm a
I mean,
farmer?
that's
we're
what
going to
they
make all
did
this
in
money off of
Washington,
this.
too. Those people are making loot.
But if I've got land in Ohio and it's like, well, I can grow corn and
Yeah,
some
right.
tomatoes
That's right.
and
Let
some
me
really,
in on
really
it,
good weed,
right?
let me in on it.
I don't know.
So I don't know. We got to stay tuned to see if it gets
Yeah.
passed tonight or not.
Apparently-
But Frank, on the Heidi and Frank show this morning, Frank did make a good point. And Ohio should pass it because high is in the name of the state.
High.
Yeah, and
High.
I mean,
just
how do you
the
not?
T-shirts
it's,
alone would
it's,
be.
It's right there. Instead of the Buckeye State, it's the Red Eye State. You know, it's all right there.
Right.
So I guess we'll find
It
out if
makes
Nick
sense.
Lachey is going to be a
She's
billionaire or
right.
not.
It makes sense. So
Yeah.
many good snacks too.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it like the testing market for like
Yes,
Frito-Lay?
It is.
yes, that's
Yeah.
right. And all those, a lot of the fast food franchises started in Ohio.
I think it's a done deal just based on this conversation.
Exactly.
Heidi.
Thank
Heidi.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. You're gorgeous, by the way.
No, you.
Everybody's talking about it.
This is embarrassing. Thank you. I'm just going to accept the
No, because I know
compliment.
Bobby
Thank
never
you.
compliments you,
Never.
so I'm going to
Never.
compliment you.
Thank you, Heidi.
Everybody
You're
always
welcome.
compliments her, so.
Check her
Bobby,
out.
you're
I
very
just let
handsome
them.
too. You're very.
Oh, thanks.
She's
You're here every week, you know.
That is true. Yeah, and you just get better looking.
You know what time her show is. Just stare at her for another minute or two before we go to a
Talk
break.
about awkward. Wish we were high right now. This would make things easier.
I wish I had some burritos. Coming up, the guy who's running the LA County Fair Association